Has it been you doing the music with your mouth this whole time?
Yes, I wish. Yes, I'm actually Burial, and I just do that with my own mouth noises.
Well, congratulations on a fine career.
Thank you.
Welcome to another episode of Toonami Pre-Flight. I am Gil Austin, and joined by mouth sounds of Burial.
Jason DeMarco.
Well done.
Also known as Burial.
This is our 28th episode of Toonami Pre-Flight. Blew people's minds that we were doing this for the last 28 weeks when we had an internal meeting. I don't know. Guess they're not as avid.
You've been doing this bullshit for half a year?
Today we are going to be talking about Megas XLR, and as a not coincidental question of the week, which show would you uncancel, which broke our consecutive 2-week streak of very seemingly confusing questions of the week, but the internet
People really got that
was
one.
not baffled in any way.
They got behind that one.
By which show you could uncancel.
Uncancel, I understand that.
We have a Jason DeMarco special look at... Do you want to tease it, or do you want to just let it happen?
Let's just let it happen.
Okay, and then we have a Bloom Room look at Critical Role, so a very full and exciting show today. But up first is our look at Megas XLR, or Mechanized Earth Guard Attack System Extra Large Robot.
Whoa. I never remember that.
That's why I wrote it down.
In fact, when rewatching this show, I don't really remember the plot ever, like the overarching plot. And it doesn't bother me because that's not the point of the show. The point of the show is to have fun, really. But as a consequence, I don't ever really remember. I'm just like, the robot came from somewhere. Like,
you mean you didn't remember the setup, like the Terminator style, coming back from the future, or that there was...
No, the setup.
Okay.
The setup. I remember the characters, and I remember Megas, and I remember certain scenes and fights and stuff, but not the plot, quote-unquote.
Yeah, so Megas premiered on Toonami in '04.
Mm-hmm.
And then ran for...
Like a year and a half, 2 years almost?
Yeah, I was thinking not quite a year.
No, it reran for a while. It was off the air by '06. They made 2 seasons sort of back-to-back. They got greenlit for Season 2 in the middle of making Season 1, and they premiered Season 2 pretty much very close to the premiere of Season 1. It was a cartoon... It was the winner of a cartoon contest.
Lowbrow.
Yeah, that.
Which doesn't seem like a great name.
I like Megas.
Megas XLR
better.
is a much better.
Yeah. But I get what they were going for.
Sure.
But yeah, it won the contest and then got greenlit as a series. And when we at Toonami found out about it, it was like not presented to us as a choice. It was like, here's an action show. It's a cartoon action show. You're going to put it on Toonami. We were like, all right. We weren't really in control of our programming at that time.
Yeah, that was towards the end of Toonami's first run, and we were given slightly less control than we had at one point in terms of show choices. But I like Megas. I mean, it wasn't like some of the shows, not to be named here, that we were given less of a choice about and didn't like.
Woollen Warriors.
But yeah, we weren't instrumental in its creation, or
we had nothing to do with it.
To the time.
It just dropped into our laps. And I remember Sean Akins, who was running Toonami at the time, basically was pretty clear about that. Since this was a cartoon original, he wanted to break it out in a different way than sort of what he considered the normal Toonami
in terms
promo
of
style
promotion, and like kicking it off.
Right. He thought it had and was designed to have, and maybe the networks had spoken to him. I don't remember. He was convinced that Megas had a broader appeal than some of the other shows in Toonami, which I disagree with.
In hindsight, it would probably be us. Like, I mean, it's an inside baseball fans look at a Toonami show.
But I think the thinking on the Cartoon Network side was, this is an original, this is made for a broader audience, whereas anime is a cultural thing, and they were wrong. But that was their thinking. So they didn't want to do the normal epic.
None of them are still currently employed by Cartoon Network.
Anyway, but they didn't want the typical epic Toonami style promo, so we went for like they wanted to make sure this was really relatable, because they did know this is a very inside baseball show with a lot of references to existing giant robot shows, and clearly it's made by people who love giant robot shows, and it's for people who love giant robot shows. So we're going to show
people who love giant robot shows.
All of it. So we are going to show all of our Toonami promos because I think they're interesting in that they don't feel like Toonami promos. But these were created by Dennis Maloney, who is one of the guys who has worked on Toonami since day one, and he went out since year 2, 3, 4,
maybe.
All right, year 4 or 5. Gil's been there since day one. I've been there since day one, but not Dennis.
That's right.
Anyway, he's been there a long time, and he's done a lot of your favorite promos. So he did these, which were purposefully designed to feel different from the normal Toonami promo and sort of make the idea of having your own giant robot the cool, relatable thing. Because at this time, the big drive at the network was that Toonami was skewing a little too older, and we needed to skew younger. Like the big push was you're leaving the kids behind, and the kids are the bread and butter of Cartoon Network, obviously. So here are some promos pitched basically to that like 7-year-old kid.
Well, there goes our sun. Guess that's it for the day.
Every kid needs a giant robot now and then. Get yours. Megas XLR. 1 hour premiere. Saturday, May 1st at 9. Only Toonami.
What's going on with your team? I got it. What's up with that? No, it's just not happening.
Okay. A little bit to the left. Your other left.
Every kid needs a giant robot now and then. Get yours. Megas XLR. 1 hour premiere. Saturday, May 1st at 9. Only Toonami.
Now it's in Spanish.
Every kid needs a giant robot now and then. Get yours. Megas XLR. 1 hour premiere. Saturday, May 1st at 9. Only Toonami.
I didn't want root beer.
So you can see like it's a different look.
Right.
It kind of has its own look, even though it uses the Toonami logo. Definitely doesn't feel like a Toonami promo.
And I don't know if we
And
had
that was
ever.
like the hot thing then too. Was like the live action.
Yeah, I don't think we'd ever did anything like that for any other
No, we didn't have the money.
show. Yeah.
We weren't given the money for a marketing campaign by the
The
network.
only live action stuff we ever shot were like interview pieces
or
but never-
Gundam commercials for
Right.
the toys.
but never any sort of promotional elements
Yeah.
that are cutting back and
But
forth.
I think those were cool and they were fun. It's just interesting to me in hindsight how they don't feel like Toonami. And then we did do your classic sort of Toonami promo with just clips, and that's this one here.
Check it out.
Using your parents' garage to modify a giant robot. Free. New friendship with a pretty girl from outer space. Free. Using your video game skills to cause mass destruction. Free. Saving the world without a clue. Priceless.
Anyone else want some of this?
All new episodes of Megas XLR. Next Saturday night at 9. Come and get it. Only Toonami.
And that one felt right to me.
Yeah.
If you're going to have a giant robot show, you put Peter Cullen, you make a cool graphic with a CGI thing of the robot, and then you show a bunch of ass
You
kicking.
show robots tearing people and things apart.
But so on to the show.
We use one of our 5 taglines at the end that we repeat over and over and over.
Onto the show. It did well, but it didn't do really well. Like, it was not, I would say, a flop.
It wasn't
but
a breakout 4-quadrant hit like
Yeah.
like the expectation was going to be.
Yeah,
It
the
was-
ratings were thoroughly mediocre.
Yeah, it was a fine
Yeah.
time at 9 o'clock. You're like,
Yeah.
sure, not whatever.
But it's funny that in the intervening years, Megas has probably held, the people who saw Megas at the time have since grown up now. It's 10 years later, 11 years later, and they have all become huge Megas fans. Like
Right.
that, I've rarely seen a show that only had basically 2 seasons that still has such an active fan base, especially on the web, and follows those creators. George Christick and Jody Schaefer. And Chris Pernosky followed them through their next show, Motor City, which also sort of was canceled early. So, like, they just have a unique point of view, I think, and people really appreciate it because there's not been a show like Megas before or since on Toonami, or really on
anywhere.
Yeah, anywhere.
Because if it wasn't on Toonami, odds are it wasn't anywhere.
Yeah. So I just think they had a unique point of view, and as you pointed out about it, it is some. It's kind of like the community of giant robot shows. Like there's a ton of inside baseball references that are very rewarding if you know the genre. That I think that's maybe one of the things that makes it continue to have this afterlife post it airing on television over almost a decade ago.
I wonder what the Venn diagram crossover between Shenmue fans and Megas XLR fans.
I think Megas fans are way cooler, frankly.
You've done it now, boy.
They're nicer on the internet anyway. But, the guys who made it are great guys that had a genuine love. They kind of made the show in a really unusual way. If you look into the making of the show, they sort of didn't know how to make a show, and they kind of did it all themselves. And you can really get that. You really do get that handmade quality from the show that I think people appreciate. Some great guest voices, like, obviously, Peter Cullen. Steve Bloom is one of the main characters. I would say that
David DeLuise.
I think it was funny that we were asked to pitch it to a younger audience because since the comedy in the show is definitely of the 9 to 14 older variety.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was a time in Cartoon Network where it was figuring out where exactly, like the selling demo versus the identity demo, and wanting that sort of 9 to 14-year-old boy and selling to that younger
6 to 11
demographic.
I mean, TV's complicated, folks.
Yeah.
So Megas has been written off in the parlance of our times, which means basically that it cannot be aired on Cartoon Network ever again. Should you wish to see it for some reason, you can still check it out on Xbox Live and iTunes. So I urge you to do that. It's my understanding that the creators are trying to get the rights back. I don't know how that happens when a show has been written off, but it's possible. So I wish them luck, and I hope they get to continue making the next iteration of Megas, because obviously it's a show Toonami fans remember really fondly.
Right.
And they're all great dudes and make good shows, so I wish them nothing but the best.
Megas XLR.
Yeah.
Not being uncanceled by us, but potentially maybe somewhere in the future by someone.
You never know, man. If Twin Peaks come back, anything's possible. So that leads us into our question of the week, which is, which show do you wish you could uncancel? I think this is a question that anybody who's a fan of television has a short list of shows there, like, oh, I love that show and it was pulled,
Right.
Whether it's Manimal, but 8 episodes I would watch more. But or in your case, Banachek. 2 seasons he would have watched more. But so we all have that list of shows, and it's a interesting topic nowadays when streaming services have sort of shaken up television, and the giant
shows are actually being uncanceled
from years, and the wave of nostalgia that creates this interest in older properties. But I mean, in a world where Twin Peaks and the X-Files are coming back, I kind of feel like any show might, and Wet Hot American Summer can get made into a TV show 10 years later. I think any show can be uncanceled. You just never know anymore.
And the slight distinction that we're making for uncanceling versus no longer airing. I mean, there are shows that have finished their run.
Yeah, sorry. We meant shows that basically ended
prematurely.
Yeah, without having an ending, without being able to wrap it all up, sort of. Maybe they had a half ending. Maybe they heard 5 episodes before they were going to get canceled, so they did their best. But mostly we're talking about shows that didn't get an ending and were sort of struck down before their time. So I'll go first.
Okay.
My first choice for a show I would uncancel is Symbionic Titan, and I just gave you a sneak preview of a later one. But Symbionic Titan, which is a show I really love, I feel that it was canceled prematurely. I think it's Genndy Tartakovsky who created the show. I think it's his finest achievement. I actually think it's better than Samurai Jack in terms of, let me be clear, if it had been allowed to grow, I think it could have become better than Samurai Jack. I think the characterizations are really great. I think that he worked a lot harder on writing than he did in Samurai Jack, which is mostly just art. I think much like Mega, Symbionic Titan benefits from you knowing about giant robot shows, but you don't have to have seen a giant robot show. I do think Symbionic Titan makes a real attempt at getting a mood and a feel across, and definitely that feel of being an adolescent comes through. It's got like a wistfulness to it, which is something weirdly that you're seeing more and more now in shows like Steven Universe and Adventure Time. That's actually mixing that little bit of sadness in is actually sort of the wave right now. But this show did it sort of ahead of its time. The official reason it was canceled that we've read about, because we don't know any more than you do, is that the ratings ratings were too low and that it didn't have any merchandise. That sounds like bullshit to me. I think it just was an expensive show and wasn't doing well enough, and they had other stuff coming, and then that's kind of, shows live and die for all kinds of weird reasons. So I think usually any reason you hear about in the press
is mostly wrong.
Even if it's from the creator, is often wrong. So anyway, the point is it got canceled, and I feel it ended too early. It ends kind of on a cliffhanger, so I would love to see this story play out. But I'll just show you. We were able to air Symbionic Titan on Toonami because we did love the show before it also was written off. So you won't be seeing it again.
Do you think it's our fault? Is there a Toonami jinx?
Toonami likes it. Write it off. Well, I mean, by the time we were showing shows on Toonami, because we had no money, we were just looking for what's free and good, so we would pick shows, and it was right before...
What do we have in the basement?
Right before the tax write-off season,
the accountants going through the same binder.
So here's our Symbionic Titan promo for when it ran in Toonami.
In a distant galaxy, the planet Galaluna lies in ruin. You'll pay for this, I swear it. Its only hope for a future, forced into exile on a tiny backwater world called Earth.
This is to be our new home.
Now, a princess, her soldier, and their robot must face the most difficult test of their lives. High school.
Salutations.
Like every teenager, they've got a secret.
Lance, no, not here.
But this one's pretty big. When danger threatens, they transform into the mighty Symbionic Titan. That is special. Today, they'll defend Earth as their own.
Energized sword.
And hope that their people have a future. Symbionic Titan. Every Saturday night at 2 a.m.
Armor up.
Only Toonami on Adult Swim.
We didn't do the big tagline. We should have done the big tagline. So I also want to show just real quickly a clip that to me sort of embodies the complexity of the direction of this show. Maybe one reason why it didn't catch on with younger audiences that the way that Cartoon Network was hoping it would, but it's one reason why it resonates with me as a old man who likes cartoons.
Sure.
So here's a scene that I think just sort of really, you watch this and you get a feel for what the show can accomplish. not every kids giant robot show would take the time to have a poetic destruction of a creature set to a Thompson Twins song. So I would love more of that show. Maybe someone will swoop in at some point, some nice person, and revive it. I think it ended before it had a chance to be great. So my next show I'm going to talk about that I would like uncanceled is Teen Titians, as we often call it around here because we type it wrong. Teen Titans, I'm speaking not of Teen Titans Go, which is on the air currently and pretty much a hit show. But this Teen Titans, the original Teen Titans from about 10 years ago, which was also a hit show for about 4 years, Cartoon Network made about 80 some odd episodes.
$1 million. Oh, no, yeah, sorry.
And it did really well. And it I'm still not clear on why it was canceled. It was sort of one of those things where it was like, yeah, we made enough. And then they just ended it. It's a partnership show with WB, so you never really know with partnerships like that. Again, things fall through for no good reason sometimes. Other people come in, have different priorities, different executives. I have no idea why it was canceled, but it also ends on kind of a cliffhanger, and I just always thought it was a great show. I used to watch it with my daughter, and even now she sees Teen Titans Go, and she's like, that's not the Teen Titans. She's tied to this Teen Titans. I think this Teen Titans did a great job with characterization and is one of the best examples to me of an American action cartoon that takes some anime influences but doesn't copy anime. And it is such a great team show in that each of the characters are totally well drawn, have great character arcs, but are still funny. To me, it's the ultimate example of what a Cartoon Network action show can be. Yeah. And I just think it was canceled before its time, even though it did have many episodes. So it had
just think how many it could have had.
Had a solid run. So what I have for us, I believe, is a Teen Titans promo. It did air in Toonami back in the day. And no, it's not airing in Toonami anytime coming now, so forget that conspiracy. But it did air in Toonami back in the day, and here's the promo we made for it.
5 teenage superheroes.
Go!
Secret identities? None.
Your animal force cannot protect you forever!
Schoolwork? As if.
No!
Angst? Plenty.
Titans! Trouble! Whoa! Oh, man! We gotta get out of here!
Teen Titans coming up next. Welcome to the big time.
Isn't that awesome? Super.
On Toonami.
I remember that. Remember the graffiti Toonami era? That was a Sean-driven. That was
www URL. Search keyword.
AOL keyword. But yeah, I very much enjoyed pretty much the whole run of that show, and one of the few sort of American action cartoons that truly gets that tone of comedy and drama, that line that they all kind of want to walk, but very few of them can do it well. They did it well.
Yeah, I love that show.
And then my final choice, which is a non-animated, non-Toonami show.
Cheater.
Because we weren't talking about just...
we didn't say animated. Gotcha.
Because we weren't talking about just anime or animation. Is a very recently canceled show, Hannibal. So, look at Mads. Hannibal.
Can I recreate this?
Hannibal. Other way.
My special reasoning sucks. I can't.
Here you go.
Okay, yeah.
Here you go. Hannibal is a show that surprised me when it came out. When I heard about the show coming out, I thought, oh, God.
I could not have been less interested.
Yeah,
I was like...
It was like, who cares? They've already ruined that franchise with all that crappy prequel movies. I mean, with Hannibal the movie and then with the prequel Hannibal movie. And they even ruined it in the books. I was just like, forget it. There's no life left in that character. And then I read reviews that, hey, this is actually something special, and ended up checking out the first episode. I DVR'd it and saved it for weeks, and then finally checked it out. And
yeah, they gave it away free on iTunes, and even then I was like, I don't know, free? That's going to take 45 minutes to watch.
But I also am a huge fan of Mads Mikkelsen, who played Hannibal in the show, and I thought, well, it's getting good reviews, plus Mads eating people, so yeah, all right, I'll check that out. And it completely blew me away. And in the last, couple years, it's probably been my favorite show on TV, to be honest. I just think it not only put a new spin on the character, but it did horror on television in an incredibly weird, gothic, surreal, romantic way that it hasn't been done, that I think is just incredible. It's definitely one of the best looking shows on TV.
Yeah.
Some really great writing, some kind of over the top purple prose, but some really great writing, some great performances from Mads Mikkelsen, Lawrence Fishburne, Hugh Dancy, like all the main cast, and then Gillian Anderson over the last 2 seasons. It just ended and was canceled early. I'm not really mad at NBC for canceling it. First of all, I think it's silly to ever be mad at a network for canceling a show unless they screwed it around, like unless they moved the time slot, or like you can't really, what a show gets on TV and it either finds an audience or it doesn't. I think bad marketing or moving the show around can definitely hurt its chances, but ultimately people choose what is on television, not networks. Like if you put a show on and no one watches it,
they kept Hannibal on much longer than
I mean, honestly, I thought it would have been canceled midway through the first season based on the incredibly low ratings, but I think they thought, well, critics love it, maybe it'll catch on. But it is such a weird, dark show that I just still can't believe they got away with all the stuff they got away with. Brian,
you watch it on NBC and it's like a giant lower third will come on for American Ninja Warrior.
Yeah, and you're like, what?
Yeah. Or on some other weird thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful butterfly that made it, out into the world, and I just appreciate that we had 3 seasons with it. It just ended this past Saturday and had a wonderful finale episode that's kind of an ending, but also open-ended. So they did a pretty good job, but
if more come, then
I think it's likely that more will come. I don't know how. I mean, I think in this streaming era, there are all kinds of rights issues with this show and with the stories they're trying to adapt from the Thomas Harris novels. But I think that we will see a movie miniseries or something. It may be a few years, but
I think the Krylance of the Blams.
but those rights have been very hard for them to secure. But I'm really happy with the show. I would love more of it, though. So in case you haven't seen it, here's sort of a trailer for season 1.
Here's the last 1 minute of the finale.
This is like a setup for what the show is and gives you, it's not a great trailer, but it gives you somewhat of an idea.
We've existed for 100,000 years. In that time, 100 billion human lives have had beginnings and ends. Dr. Lecter.
My name is Will Graham.
He catches insane men because he can think like them.
This is my design.
Special Agent Jack Crawford, I head the Behavioral Science Unit.
Can I borrow your imagination? They found somebody whose throat was cut and played like a violin.
What do you see, Will?
Every death is different.
He's killed all creeds, colors, men and women.
Every brutal choice has elegance, grace.
This is an intelligent psychopath.
His mutilations hide the true nature of his crimes.
I wouldn't put him out there.
I need him out there.
Don't let him get too close.
He won't.
It's getting harder and harder to make myself look. And you know what looking at this does.
I know what happens if you don't look. You just pulled the trigger 10 times, but I'm recommending a psych eval. Dr. Hannibal Lecter.
Good evening, Will. Agent Crawford tells me you have a knack for the monsters. What you need is a way out of dark places when Jack sent you there.
Don't psychoanalyze me. I know who I am,
Dr. Lecter. Did you really feel so bad because killing him felt so good?
I don't feel like myself.
Killing must feel good to God, too. He does it all the time. And are we not created in his image?
I know who I am.
The Chesapeake Ripper is making it clear that someone is plagiarizing his work.
If you can hear me, you're alive!
Have you seen him cook? It's an entire performance.
I got so close to him. I felt like we were doing the same things.
You were becoming him.
There is something wrong with you.
What's happening to me?
Death makes angels of us all and gives us wings where we had shoulders.
He will always fight his way back to himself.
I fear not knowing who I am.
You
catch these killers by getting into their heads. But you also allow them into yours. How could I resist?
I told you not to put him out there!
I know what monsters are. Dr. Lecter.
What am I about to put in my mouth?
Rabbit.
You should have hopped faster.
Fortunately for us, he did not.
You can't not love a show where you get to watch Mads Mikkelsen feed humans to other people every week.
So good. It's crazy to see that trailer too because it's such a quiet show for so much of the.
Totally, yeah. The trailer's like, all bombastic,
and they're just like.
I mean, they're trying to sell it like a big Hollywood thriller, which I get. I mean, you can't. The real Hannibal, the show, is like
so deliberately paced and so.
It's like an extended surreal nightmare in a good way.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Love
I
it.
would like to see more of it, but I'm done talking about my uncancels. Gil, now that I've already blown one of yours.
Well, maybe not. Maybe people don't know that you were looking at the wrong sheet and forgot what you were going to do.
I was looking at Schmedman Smunderman.
So now you totally ruined it. So up first for me is Oh, no, that's not right. Is
Schmanimal.
Is Dead Man Wonderland.
It's Manimal sequel. Hannibal and Manimal Company. Anyway.
Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay.
Damn
it. Dead Man Wonderland. Finally. Which was not exactly canceled, but was that sort of nebulous TV world of like, we're just not making it anymore.
It definitely ends on a cliffhanger.
So it's sort of, the anime takes some of the plot from the manga, but not all of it, and so it's sort of tough the way it's set up for them to continue on the manga story. It didn't do all that well in Japan.
No.
I think we
did
a
better
good job
in the US.
In the United States.
It did better in the US than it did
American
in Japan.
viewers.
Yeah.
So not impossible that it would come back. They would need to figure out a new story or do a Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood type sort of reboot of it and go back to the manga story to figure out what it would be. But basically, I would just like to see more episodes of it and see the continuation of the story, but probably that will never happen. This is probably the 7th time we've shown this promo, so we'll stop talking about Dead Man Wonderland after this, but this is our trailer that we cut for Dead Man Wonderland, and let's check it out.
First run or second?
First run.
Okay, the original.
OG.
Whoa, what the hell?
A classroom full of kids has been murdered. The only survivor, Ganta Igarashi.
The only recourse that we have is capital punishment.
Wrongfully convicted, Ganta's been shipped off to the worst place on Earth. Dead Man Wonderland. One part amusement park, one part maximum security lockdown.
This is life, boys.
The only way to survive is to fight.
Now you'll see him suffer the slings and arrows.
But Ganta's got a special talent. He's a dead man. His ticket to fame and glory? A brutal blood sport called Carnival Corpse.
The bloodiest, awesomest attraction in the whole park.
Only the very strong, or very insane, make it out in one piece. Can Ganta survive this crazy world? Or is he just more meat for the grinder? Dead Man Wonderland, next Saturday night at 2:30 a.m. Get busy living, or get busy dying. Only Toonami on Adult Swim.
So that trailer is really the first sort of part of the show. It kind of changes, and without totally spoiling it, there's really no way to talk about it. But I really like Dead Man Wonderland. Would like to see more episodes. Probably never will, when we'll just continue to rewatch season 1.
Never say never.
I said probably. I didn't say never. I never say never. Damn it, I just said never.
Okay.
Up next for me is Futurama, which, in all fairness, really had lots of chances and was uncanceled a couple of times, but I would like to see, again, more episodes of Futurama. This clip is from the 4th season, I believe, and this sort of showcases a lot of the humor that I enjoy in Futurama, so let's check this out, and then we can talk about its run.
With the new iPhone, you can watch, listen, ignore your friends, stalk your ex, download porno on a crowded bus, even check your email while getting hit by a train. All with the new iPhone.
From Mom.
Are there any left?
There may be one. Okay,
It's $500, you have no choice of carrier, the battery can't hold a charge, and the reception isn't very—
Shut up and take my money! Say, you're from one of those ethnicities that knows about technology. Why is it called an iPhone?
I'll explain after I install it.
Neat.
Now for the earpiece.
So very much that Matt Groening satirical look at things, and I've spawned "Shut up and take my money" meme.
Many memes
from there,
including the one behind us.
Yeah. So the it was 4 seasons on Fox, and then ran in syndication on or reruns on Adult Swim. Then had a great run on Adult Swim, so much so that
we got that shit uncanceled. We didn't uncancel it, but we got it uncanceled.
It was more like, hey, I like what you're doing over there.
Adult Swim is pretty good at uncanceling.
Yeah,
we uncanceled Family Guy and we uncanceled Futurama.
Yeah, so 2 for 9,000 so far.
That's better than most networks.
But yeah, never give up on the shows. But it was so then Comedy Central picked up the rights for the 4 basically OVAs, which turned into season 5. There were 2 more seasons, and the 7th one was the final episode or final season that ran on Comedy Central. Yeah. So it definitely was uncanceled, had its run. I think still is a great show.
How much Futurama can you possibly need?
More.
We've got 7 seasons. That's even more than Teen Titans.
More. But yeah, so it's a fun show. I think it's really well written. I think it had its chances, but I would like to see
many chances up to bat.
If it came back to Adult Swim, I think maybe we could uncancel it again. So it really just
I liked it. I liked it a lot. I don't know that I didn't like the Comedy Central version of the show as much, I would say. Like, I think creatively it reached its peak in seasons 2, 3, 4, kind of, and then I enjoyed the Comedy Central seasons, what I watched of them, but they just didn't quite feel the same.
It's just always dirty watching Comedy Central anyway.
Oh, there's that. It's true.
If it just comes back to Adult Swim, then I think we'll be
looking in
better
on the
shot
enemy.
at it.
It's true.
But yeah, so Futurama, keep your fingers crossed. I've heard absolutely nothing about it being uncanceled, but you never know. So up finally for me is also not an animated program not made in Japan or elsewhere in the world, and that is Deadwood, which is, I guess that's an image of Deadwood.
That's probably from the art from the show or something.
But yeah, Sean is shaking his head. Yes, so yes.
Why would you not just have a picture of Al Swearingen?
I guess scanned in season 2.5 Blu-ray inside jacket cover. But let's watch a scene. It's really tough to pick scenes for Deadwood that without it
this
constantly
broadcast,
being
every other
bleeped
word
out.
is a swear.
So this is mostly safe for work after we make the final audio changes, but let's run this and then talk about Deadwood.
Of course. If it'd steer you from something stupid, I could always profess another position.
Well, I find you've got a knife.
I won't need a knife.
They went over the balcony.
Awful possibility in these matters is both men sustaining mortal injury.
You looking to die?
Eat your kill.
Turn you!
Hey, don't come no further!
Jesus!
Christ! Jesus Christ! Jesus Christ Almighty! Here's a book.
Me.
I do have a knife. Come to me now. Welcome to Deadwood.
That's the kind of greeting I like when I get to a new town.
Yeah, so that's Bullock as the knight in shining armor fighting Al Swearingen as the sort of unhinged pragmatist of Deadwood.
Anti-hero.
That's the beginning of season 2, I believe.
Yeah.
And that's his Bullock's wife and child who see him get beat to a pulp right in front of their eyes. So I really, really like Deadwood. Other than The Wire, it's probably my favorite HBO show. It ran for 3 seasons and was sort of going to be continued. The story just kind of ends on a
weird
non-note.
Yeah,
it just feels not like a finale. After the 3rd season, HBO's position was, we haven't canceled it, but they didn't pick up any of the actors' contracts. There was talk of a movie, and then it was going to be 2 TV movies, and then like 4 years later, it was, well, maybe we'll still make the movies, and then a year after that was, no, we're never going to make those movies. And then like 2 weeks ago, it's like, oh, maybe the movies are back. So I don't know where this is going to go. I would like to see more of the story. You kind of get more of the story in Justified, where you see Timothy Olyphant basically play the fun version of Seth Bullock week to week. But Deadwood is a really
Deadwood's
good,
better than Justified.
yeah, it's a much better show.
Yeah.
Not that I'd like Justified, but it's I really like the characterization. I like the period piece of it. It got a lot of criticism for its profanity,
which is so stupid.
Yeah,
it's like what
that. There's a lot of other things that you seemingly would take more of an issue with than the profanity in the show, but I guess I sort of see what people are thinking, but that's just kind of dumb to me.
Deadwood's great. It might come back. I think if it's much longer, they'll have to do it like a later years version,
right? Because it's going to be aged, a decade later.
Everyone's aged. You know, the actors have aged at this point so much, but yeah, just really, really great writing in particular. But I understand that the show was a total chaos, and often lines were rewritten like literally right before scenes.
Yeah.
And
was expensive.
It was just a way of working that couldn't be sustained and was really expensive. And I think HBO, that was weirdly a part of the time. Like they canceled Rome after 2 seasons.
Right.
Like they were trying to not spend a lot of money for some period of time for some reason. And some good shows fell by the wayside, and Deadwood's one of them. I definitely hope it comes back too.
Yeah. So those are our choices for favorite program we would uncancel, or however we phrase the question. Let's look and see what the internet's favorites
were. Let's look
at
the Adult Swim's top 5 uncanceled shows. Futurama, man, y'all Futurama fans. Samurai Jack, which I almost chose for mine.
As did I.
But felt like a less egregious ending than Symbionic Titan. Metalocalypse, of course. Metalocalypse fans, very vocal on the internet. We're not there in huge numbers when the show was on, but very vocal in its death. Firefly, which, of course, is one of those legendarily early canceled shows, and then was brought back as a movie, Serenity, and then that also ate shit. So Firefly fans, I'm pretty sure you're out of luck, but I get it. And then Aqua Teen Hunger Force, which is no surprise since it was on everyone's mind because of the finale, and then the secret finale that we just aired.
And then tune in for the double. No, there's no. It's over.
But I think Aqua Teen had a nice long run, but I don't blame people for wanting more.
Right. Like Futurama.
Yeah. Great shows are great shows.
And then let's take a look at the Toonami Facebook picks.
Oh yeah,
Teen Titians.
Yeah. Wow, we're right in line. Yeah,
Bleach.
Bleach ended early.
Yeah.
I mean, Bleach ended like just ended. Like
right.
It definitely, Bleach did not have a wrap up. And man, if you had invested in hundreds of episodes,
like if you were 400 episodes in, and
you deserve an ending. There's talk that maybe
I
we'll
would
get
not be
one.
surprised if there would be
something that comes out that wraps up Bleach. Yeah, I hope so. And then of course Young Justice.
Yeah,
Young Justice fans very vocal about the cancellation cancellation of that show a couple years back on Cartoon Network was one very highly regarded show by fans. And then, of course, Megas XLR, which, you know, years later people still talk about. So
Right.
it's really the mark of a show that left its imprint on people.
Yeah. So thank you for participating as always. Facebook.com/Toonami, your best avenue. I think 1 billion people liked our question and gave us comments. So
1 billion, exactly.
It was well received, so thank you for that.
Billion's a good number.
Up next will be our sneak peek look at the goodie that will air this coming weekend inside Toonami in that first A gap position in DBZ Kai. This is a game review that Dennis made for Shovel Knight. So let's check it out and see what we/Dennis thinks.
Hey, Tom, is that an old Nintendo game?
Nope, but you know I'm a sucker for a side-scroller.
Looks pretty fun.
Yep, I unearthed this gem called Shovel Knight on the PlayStation Network. As the 8-bit quest begins, the villainous Enchantress and her Order of No Quarter stand between you and your beloved.
And your primary weapon is a shovel?
Yeah, but it's no ordinary spade. You can excavate some loot or bury a bunch of bad guys, search down secret items, and survive an avalanche of boss battles. Then use all your spoils to buy relics and handy upgrades. Trust me, you're gonna need them all.
Yeah, it kind of looks like Ghosts and Goblins hooked up with Castlevania.
That's what makes it so cool. It combines all the best features of those retro classics. Plus, it's challenging, super fun, and only $15.
Everyone can dig that. What are we giving it?
Shovel Knight for the PS4 gets an 8 out of 10.
The shovel is mightier than the sword.
I have not played Shovel Knight. You have?
I haven't beaten it. It's actually really hard.
Yeah.
It's like Ghosts and Goblins level hard. Like, it's no joke. It's definitely designed as an old school hard game. But I really like it. I love the aesthetic too.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
So
thank you, Dennis, and enjoy that this coming Saturday night on Toonami, midnight to 3:30 a.m. Up next is a Jason look at a moving picture. Do you want to introduce your moving pictures?
Me.
And then have you talk about it?
Yeah, I do a segment, for those of you who don't know, just started a segment a couple weeks ago called Moving Pictures, in which I review an animated film suggested to me by you, Toonami viewers. So the first one I did was Justice League Gods and Monsters, and the most requested, the one after that, was the DBZ movie Battle of the Gods, which I had not seen. We're pretty busy here at Toonami, so I didn't have time to see that. But I wanted to, so I used this Moving Pictures as an excuse to sit down with that movie, and here's a nice long review in which I tell you my thoughts. Hello, Toonami faithful. This is Jason DeMarco with this second installment of Moving Pictures. This time I'll be reviewing not the newest DBZ movie, but the one from 2013, came to the US in 2014, DBZ Battle of the Gods. Okay, it's several hours later. It didn't take that long to watch the film, I promise. As far as I can tell, Dragon Ball Z Battle of the Gods is about basically when Goku defeats Frieza. This is where it takes place in the storyline. When Goku defeats Frieza, an ancient god of a lord of destruction, or god of destruction, they kind of alternate between the two, named Lord Beerus, wakes up from a 40-year slumber and basically had a dream or a premonition. A premonition! That he was going to fight a Super Saiyan god. They intimate that he was the one who sent Frieza to destroy Namek, but basically he finds out Frieza was defeated by Goku, and he decides to go visit the planet Earth to see what this Goku dude's all about. First, actually, he travels to King Kai's world. He sees Goku, they have a little bit of a fight, but nothing really happens. He just easily is like, psh, and plays Goku. So they go down to planet Earth, and they arrive, and it's Bulma's birthday party. Vegeta recognizes him immediately because Vegeta's dad, I guess they knew of Lord Beerus, who I'm going to call from now on De Beers. like the diamonds. So Vegeta knows he's in deep shit and he's got to placate this guy. Everyone keeps saying, just in classic Dragon Ball fashion, that this guy is more powerful than anyone who's ever lived ever, and they need to, and he likes to just destroy stuff because he's the god of destruction.
Beerus the Destroyer is the strongest destructive force in the whole universe! It's in his name!
I wonder how many planets will fall victim to his rampaging this time.
Now, curiously, I'm not sure why the god of destruction is a cat who looks exactly like Kangaroo Jack. So he comes to Bulma's birthday party, and then we take a incredibly long side story journey into like a side plot with Emperor Pilaf, who's been turned into a kid. So then there's this weird subplot of them trying to steal the Dragon Balls, and it's like on the way they touch every single Dragon Ball character of note, basically, or at least show them. You know, there's a bunch of hijinks. There's Piccolo doing karaoke. Majin Buu shows up.
Give me the pudding! No!
Buu makes him mad and he decides, well, I'm going to destroy the world, because he wasn't sure. He was just looking for the same god. Now he decides, forget it, I'm just going to destroy this world. And then Bulma pisses off De Beers, who slaps her. This causes Vegeta to go Super Saiyan immediately, and he actually, because of his anger, is powerful enough to knock over De Beers. The Z Fighters call Shenlong and make a wish to find out how do we get the Super Saiyan God, because they know if they don't produce the Super Saiyan God for De Beers to fight, he's going to destroy the planet. The dragon is actually scared of De Beers, which should tell you something, and the dragon basically tells them,
the Super Saiyan God can only exist temporarily in your world, when multiple Saiyans project their energies onto another.
They give all their power to Goku, of course, whose hair goes red, and he becomes the Super Saiyan God. He fights De Beers. There's sort of a big long fight with a goofy, sort of rocky pop song. I just hate the music in this movie, but Goku loses, but De Beers basically is like, you put up a pretty good fight. You're the second most powerful person I've fought, I think. So yeah, I'll let you live, and I'll come back when you're really ready to handle me. And Goku's like, yeah, great, we'll fight again, and maybe you'll destroy the world, cool, you know, typical Goku fashion. So ultimately, I think this was a pretty good, like, it had been 17 years since a theatrical Dragon Ball Z movie release, and this is the first one Toriyama had worked on in a long time. So really, this was like a victory lap for him, I think, and so he just kind of included all his favorite characters. Honestly, in moments felt more like Dragon Ball, because he seemed more interested in the sort of goofy comedy.
Oh yeah!
Than the, you know, the type of danger and the worlds at stake that Dragon Ball Z had. It was kind of like trying to have it both ways, and wasn't always successful at it. I enjoyed it. I had fun with it. I don't know that I would like ever watch it again, because there's really nothing at stake, and it's really, its main value is that you get to sit with some characters you haven't spent time with in a long time. I would give this movie half and half. But that's it. That's this edition of Moving Pictures. I'm Jason DeMarco. If you want to tweet me your suggestions for the next animated film I should review, I am at ClarkNova1 on Twitter, or feel free, we'll post about this on the Toonami Facebook. Feel free to comment and suggest other animated films you'd like me to review. Thanks. So the thing I forgot to mention in there that's important probably for later Dragon Ball stuff is this movie's canon, like it takes place in the show continuity, like after Frieza is knocked out and Goku is training with Kai. But they say in the movie, De Beers says in the movie, like, there are other dimensions and universes with other creatures that are even more powerful than me. And I think that's laying the groundwork for where these guys are going to come from that are even more powerful than Goku or De Beers. Yeah, or De Beers. And they definitely lay the groundwork for him coming back too. So definitely some groundwork being laid here for later stories that I forgot to highlight. But yeah, that was my review.
Nice work.
Are you gonna watch it? Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, I liked it. I think your point of trip down memory lane, I think, is a good one.
Yeah.
It's a fun sort of romp around. I have not seen Resurrection F.
Me neither.
But maybe that'll be
next
moving picture. So lastly, we have an episode of The Bloom Room voice of Tom, Steve Bloom. And, well, let's just run it.
This is a long one. It's
his
cool.
thing is an introduction, and so introducing his introduction is kind of pointless. Yeah. So take it away, Bloom Room.
Yo, Toonami faithful, welcome back to the Bloom Room. This week, we celebrate the geek. Not like we don't do that every week. But this week, we take it a level deeper. And by deeper, I mean Dungeons and Dragons deep. And by geek, I mean geek and sundry. This is Critical Role. I'm taking you on the set of this internet sensation of Dungeons and Dragons, played by some of the most beloved voice actors and on-camera actors from time to time, in our entire community, and hosted by the incredible Dungeon Master, Matt Mercer, an unbelievable voice actor in his own right, and also certifiable genius. I mean, the dude reads astrophysics for fun. So instead of talking a lot about this, I'm going to show you a bunch of pictures, let these guys speak for themselves, and get the hell out of the way. Enjoy.
Hey guys, my name is Matthew Mercer. I'm a voice actor. You've probably heard me on Toonami as the voice of Levi in Attack on Titan. I was Tsukishima in Bleach, the end of the Bleach series. I'm also Kikuoka in Sword Art Online and a bunch of other fun stuff, Yamato and Naruto. But yeah, so I'm also the Dungeon Master for this awesome show, where I run a game of Dungeons & Dragons for a bunch of other voice actors weekly on Geek and Sundry's Twitch stream. And it's amazing. It's a lot of fun, great stories, great characters. Tonight our guests include Will Wheaton and Will Friedle. You may know as Terry McGinnis from Batman Beyond. So we play silly games, we role play, and create stories, and it's one of my favorite things to do. So every Thursday I look forward to this experience. So if you're ever bored on a Thursday evening, we play these at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Geek and Sundry's Twitch stream. We'd love to have you. It's an amazing community, and you get to watch us be huge nerds and roll dice. So welcome.
What's up, Toonami? This is Sam Riegel. I play Scanlan Shorthalt on Critical Role. It's an awesome show. You should check it out. The best part about it is you never know what you're going to get until it happens, and neither do we. I'm stuck in LA traffic right now, but when I get home tonight, I'm going to turn on Toonami. And what you guys should do is go online and check out Critical Role and see all of the mayhem that you can get into when you play Dungeons & Dragons. Peace. Bye-bye.
Hey, everybody. I'm Ryan Akaba, and I played Tiberius Storman on Critical Role. I want to give a shout-out to Toonami and check them out, because I'm on Naruto.
Oh, my God.
I play Hoheito Hyuga, and check it out.
Hey guys, I'm Marisha Ray, and I'm also a voice actor, and I play Keyleth, who's like an awkward druid in Critical Role. You can hear me in Persona and Metal Gear Solid and fun games like that. But yeah, it's basically a show where we're a bunch of voice actors playing D&D. You should check it out.
Hi, this is Liam O'Brien. You might know me from playing Gaara from Naruto and other stuff as well. I am here on Critical Role tonight playing Xildon, a half-elf Rue, which means stabbing and sneaking around. We have fun. If you've never checked it out, please do play some Dungeons & Dragons. And hi, Toonami.
Hi, this is Mary Elizabeth McGlynn, and I had a 2-week stint on Critical Role. I played Zara Hydrus, a fantastic tiefling who helped slay a dragon, and I got the kill shot. What?
Yes. What's up, Toonami Nation? This is Travis Willingham. You might know me from animes such as Full Metal Alchemist, where I play Colonel Roy Mustang, or on High School Host Club, where I played the silent but deadly Mori, SPD Mori. You can also catch me in video games coming out later this year, such as Halo 5 Guardians. I am a member of Critical Role, a Geek and Sundry Twitch stream channel show where a bunch of us geeky voice actors get together and play D&D for about 3 hours, and it is ridiculous. My character's name is Grog, and I am a Goliath barbarian. I have an intelligence of 6, I love ale, and I like to rage. You should come by. It's every Thursday night at 7 p.m. for about 3 hours Pacific Standard Time. Hope to see you there.
Hi, my name is Taliesin Jaffe, and you can check me out right now on One Piece as Hawkins, one of the new pirates. You can also see me on Critical Role, which is this amazing show where a bunch of voice actors play Dungeons & Dragons. It's great. It's even better than it sounds. I don't know how it sounds. And you can see me in a bunch of upcoming games that I can't talk about without being killed by ninjas. Thank you.
Hey, Toonami, it's Will Friedle here, and I play Kasha Vesh on Critical Role for 2 weeks. Nothing should be this much fun. This was amazing, so I will be back next week to watch Will Wheaton roll one after one after one after one. Thanks.
Hey there, Toonami. I'm Ashley Johnson, and I am Pike Trickfoot in Critical Role. I am the group's gnome cleric, and I've been missing for some time because I'm working in New York, and it is absolute torture to not be there. We've played this campaign for 3 years now. Might be wrong, maybe more, maybe less. And some of the best nights of my life have been because of this game and this group of people. So check it out.
What's up, Toonami? My name is Will Wheaton, and I play Torbjörn Forbier on Critical Role for 2 episodes. I'm a cranky, non-charismatic dwarf, and because I am Will Wheaton, I do nothing but roll under the number 5, including several ones. If you like to see people fail, you should watch me, because when I fail, I do it critically.
Oh, hello there. I'm Laura Bailey. I'm a voice actress. I play Vexalia on Critical Role. She's the half-elf ranger of the group, which means I shoot arrows. I have an awesome companion bear who is strong and brave and fearless and adorable. And his name's Trinket. I think you guys would love him. I'm in the middle of a recording session right now for something secret. But you may have heard me on Dragon Ball Z, or Soul Eater, or Naruto, or, you know, some video games or something. Halo 5, which is coming out soon. You guys should totally play it. So yeah, watch Critical Role. Play Dungeons & Dragons. Play tabletop games. Play video games. Do whatever you want. I love you.
Nice.
Oh, pretty geeky and awesome.
Yeah, we should have our own William Street Dungeons & Dragons show. That should somebody write that down and have
We
that
play
be
Dungeons & Dragons.
the streaming show for up at whatever point.
I can't tell you
on
how
the
many different show ideas I had as a kid that were all just various Dungeons & Dragons scenarios. This would make a great show, and it was always the same. And then Lodos War came out and did them all.
Great.
Thanks, Steve, for once again another awesome Bloom Room, and thanks everybody for watching Pre-Flight this week. Keep in mind that we are going to be on every day on the Toonami stream at 5 p.m. ET.
Yeah, so there's weekly show marathons that will be running throughout the week that we'll update you on our Facebook and also on Toonami.com. We will show new episodes of Pre-Flight Tuesdays at 5 like we've been doing, and every day at 5 is the repeat.
As well as scattered around
and
through
then
the
sprinkled
marathons.
into the rest of the marathon.
Yeah, it's
just
like
to make
3 hours of a marathon and
confusing
then a
as
pre-flight.
humanly
Yeah, it's-
possible.
But we are in the next coming weeks going to settle that schedule and lay it all out for you guys. So have patience. In the meantime, if you want to see Pre-Flight, just go ahead and tune in at 5 o'clock.
And we also have the previous 2 weeks' episodes archived starting today. So if you want to just watch Pre-Flight till your heart's content,
just
enjoy.
go to Toonami.com and look at it.
Oh, yeah, and I said it would be in DBZ Kai, but this weekend is the Michio and Hachin
right.
marathon, so our sneak peek
We
was from
couldn't
that,
be more
so-
confusing.
Yeah.
So.
Enjoy.
Thanks for watching.
See you guys next week.
Bye.